Hello, comics and gaming fans. I'm Alex Coop.
This is James Griffin. We're the Lunch Breakers.
Hope you're enjoying the live stream so far.
We're taking a bit of a break now, playing some good old Ratchet and Clank, playing the collection, Going Commando, which is the second in the series. Now, for anyone who grew up with PS2, you know these games. They're classics. Great platforming, great action. And what's interesting about Ratchet and Clank is that unlike a lot of its contemporaries like Sly Cooper and Jak and Daxter, it actually, Insomniac kept releasing them even into the PS3 era. And there's even a movie coming out in a few years. It's pretty cool.
Well, this looks really, really wacky and kind of fun. Sell me on this, James. I've never really played this series before. Well, what's going on here?
All right. So for Ratchet and Clank, started in the PS2. It's an action platformer. You play as this thing called the Lombax named Ratchet. And you also have your trusty friend named Clank, who's a little robot who helps you get to places. And basically the story kind of revolves around these guys saving the universe. It's really cheesy comedy. The gameplay revolves around shooting guns, upgrading your guns to make new guns and more epic guns. It's very simple. What's really great and sets Ratchet apart from other games, besides this whole upgrading stuff, is its sense of humor. It breaks the fourth wall a lot. It's really silly but really funny stuff. Honestly, I think it's definitely an all-ages game, but I grew up with it as a kid. So if you're between the ages of like 10 and 15, this is the perfect game for you.
What are some of your favorite moments that you remember this friendly squirrel with guns doing?
Yes, Lombax. I don't even know what that means either. God, my favorite. I played Up Your Arsenal, which is the third one in this series, and one of my favorite parts is they had these giant robot battles with Clank, where it felt a lot like Rock'em Sock'em robots. It was just really ridiculous because he's like this little robot thing. You can't see him now because it's just Ratchet, but yeah,
that's so weird.
It's a strange concept, but I mean, Insomniac are also the guys who made Resistance, right? They know their stuff, and this is basically what made them famous. What made them believe, okay, we need to watch this developer.
Yeah,
I know that they started with Spyro, but these were definitely better titles.
Yeah, it seems like Sony has a lot of neat little exclusive platformers that 360 or Microsoft systems don't really have, it seems.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of strange.
They're really well known for games like Jak and Daxter, Sly, which we mentioned earlier. And I mean, like, they're the epitome of platforming.
Yeah. Sly Cooper was cool. It was like it was all about stealth.
It was like a stealth platformer, right? And I mean, Jak and Daxter, at least the first one, was more traditional, and then it kind of came into this. Anyways, we're nearing the end of our break. We're gonna throw it back to the live stream for some PS1 memories.
Yeah, hope you enjoy.
All right, see you guys soon.
See you. Hello everyone, this is Alex Coop.
And James Griffin, we're the Lunch Breakers.
And we are playing the Halo Killer.
Killzone 2. Now, we just had our PS1 memories section. We're going into a PS2 one next. What's interesting is that the first Killzone was released on PS2, and it really tried to be a Halo killer. I mean, I remember seeing a GamePro cover. They had on the left Killzone, the middle Halo 2, and on the right they had Metroid Prime. And Sony was really pushing it. Pretty horrible game, the first one. I rented it for a weekend, and it was just like, what is this? But what was great about Killzone 2 is that it really upped the game from Guerrilla, and it was this great kind of war-torn world. It was definitely one of the best shooters for the PS3, I think. Yeah.
Random question, is there a way to just crouch? Do you know,
I think
off the top of your head?
I thought it was A. Or maybe you click the left analog.
There's no A button in this.
Oh, God. Anyways, no, when we look at Sony and we look at their exclusives, their best exclusives aren't their shooters. I mean, Resistance was great, Killzone was great, but they were known previously for JRPGs. We talked earlier about how Ratchet and Clank was great with the platformers.
Yeah.
But definitely, Sony had struggled really selling their shooters. I mean,
it seems like each of those had like a good start, like Resistance 1 and Killzone 1. They were like really memorable, and then it just quickly just lost its edge.
Well, Killzone 2.
Killzone 2.
Resistance 1 had this great idea with these cool guns against aliens, right? But yeah, I mean, compare the sales to things like Gears of War, or I mean, obviously Halo.
Yeah.
It's not even close. And some of them are great games. I played the demo for Killzone 3, and I remember thinking this is the best looking game I've ever seen at the time.
Yeah, it's really impressive when it comes to visuals.
One thing that I really don't like about Killzone is the stories. While it's a cool idea and everything, it's nothing special. It's nothing that exciting.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is great. I mean, it's very fluid. Like, I love the war-torn worlds. I mean, no one does it like Guerrilla when it comes to like destroyed worlds. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's still fun. Like it's totally playable, and not as fun as Halo though, I guess.
Oh no, I totally agree. What was great about Killzone is they just released Mercenary actually for the Vita, and people are calling it the first real FPS on a handheld console, which is great. Anyways, we're wrapping it up soon here. We're going on to our PS2 memories next, where you're going to talk about games like, well, talk about Ratchet, we'll talk about Jak and Daxter for sure.
Huge library for the PS2, that's for sure.
3,800 games?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And I mean, we'll talk about things, we'll hopefully bring up Persona. I mean, that's a personal gesture.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going back to our live stream now. Thanks for tuning in. We're the Lunch Breakers.
Hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, this is Alex Coop.
And it's James Griffin, and we are once again the Lunch Breakers. What are we playing right now, Alex?
We're playing some Mortal Kombat 9 on the PS3. And we were talking a bit about God of War a few minutes ago, and James decided to see if he could handle Kratos in the Mortal Kombat universe.
It's pretty hard, although he fits really well into it. I mean,
he does, yeah. He's got all the tools needed to be in a fighting game. And it's kind of interesting how the most recent God of War game, Ascension, kind of lost its edge after being so successful in other games.
Oh no, yeah. I think it was it's kind of like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. It was too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, no one really wanted another God of War that quickly.
Yeah.
Especially one that, I mean, while it added multiplayer, it wasn't very good. And when you look, the story didn't need to be told either.
Wait, there was multiplayer for that game?
No, people try to forget.
I'm dead serious. I
in general,
totally forgot that there was multiplayer for that game.
In general, it's a game I think people want to forget right now. But you know, speaking of Mortal Kombat and fighting games, I think fighting games in general have really evolved over the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about one thing that the PS2 didn't have was a lot of solid fighters. I mean, there was Street Fighter, Third Strike was on PS1 and like old consoles like that.
Yeah.
But then there was this like kind of lapse of 7 years where no one was really talking about fighting games. And then I remember a small little title came out in around 2008 called Street Fighter 4. And it just brought the scene back. I mean, it's huge now. You think of EVO, which is this annual tournament. They bring in tens of thousands of people, win tons of money. You were kicking the crap out of me.
I'm just shooting.
But yeah, going back to fighting games, I think MK was definitely part of that big success where they brought it back. I mean, people are now talking about, Killer Instinct's coming out for the Xbox One exclusive title.
A big one, yeah.
And fighting games are brought back. I mean, think about the last few years too. They brought back Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I mean, there were problems with it, but it was well taken by the competitive community.
True.
I mean, you talk about how Street Fighter 4 keeps making new iterations, but people keep buying it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Blaze Blue is another thing. It was just...
PlayStation All-Stars too. I think that was, it kind of moves away from the traditional like one-on-one fighting game, but it's still a pretty impressive addition to the fighting market.
You think everyone keeps talking about how it's Smash Bros, but the actual mechanics and
it's not.
It's not Smash Bros.
Yeah.
The only thing that's the same is the aesthetic, which guaranteed is very similar to Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But when I played it, I mean, my whole strategy, how I play All Stars, is very different to how I play Smash Bros. Mm-hmm. And I hate people who keep saying one is better than the other. I mean, they're different games, all right? And All Stars was a new franchise, whereas Smash Bros. Is something that's been going on for 10, 15 years now?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Exactly.
And even though All Stars didn't sell that well, I'm hoping they bring it back. I know one of our interns in the office is huge on All Stars, so he's excited for that. But yeah, do you think there'll be a God of War game announced soon for PS4?
Probably not soon, but actually, you know what? It's a definite. It's like one of the faces of Sony, so like you kind of expect it to be announced sooner than later, but I just don't know. I think Ascension kind of left a bit of a bitter taste
yes,
in people's mouths.
I totally agree.
So unless they're really reworking the whole thing, then I don't think there'll be an announcement anytime soon.
Oh yeah. No, I'm someone who thinks Sony Santa Monica should really jump on something completely new.
Yeah.
I mean, one developer that's really doing something new that I think Santa Monica could really relate to is all the Ubisoft people with the new indie games like Valiant Hearts.
Right.
So that's what I really want from the God of War people. They got to try something new. Maybe make like a kids game would be hilarious. I think, and be a great challenge for them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, pretty much what's happening to you in this game, in this match right now, is what's happening to the God of War series in general.
thanks for that, Alex. Hey, I clearly don't play enough Mortal Kombat. Also, this isn't my character. I actually play Sub-Zero a lot too. But yeah, we're nearing the end of this mini lunch breakers. We're going into PS3 memories, a much more recent thing, and I think this is very fitting of that.
Yeah. Plenty of God of War in there as well. So.
Oh yeah. Even though it's kind of the same game.
Yeah, exactly.
Ascension and 3 were very similar to 2 and 1.
So how about we end off with a nice Skull Crusher, and then we'll take you back to the live stream. Hope you enjoy.
See you guys soon.
All right, now we're checking out Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, a newer release in a sort of nostalgic series for the PlayStation.
And not done by the original crew, because those guys were off doing Infamous and enjoying a lot of success with that.
That turned out pretty well for them, I guess.
It did. So we've got Infamous Second Son to look forward to in March, which I'm not real happy about. But
yeah, it's unfortunate we're getting it a little late, but it looks like it's going to definitely be worth the wait.
However, in the meantime, so one of the reasons why we're covering Sly Cooper is not just because we like the game, even though we do. I actually reviewed and gave it a pretty decent score, but also because this is Vita compatible, which is
awesome feature.
Something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of with the PlayStation 4. But right now, the Vita is not in a great place, market-wise.
It's a little slow moving, but hopefully with the PS4's addition of the off-screen play and the remote play, we can see that picking up a lot more.
Yeah, which is one of the things that I really like about Sly Cooper is this is one of the few early games that actually gives you a taste of what Vita cross-compatibility is going to be like with the console. It's not a feature that a lot of people took advantage of, mostly because they didn't really have Vitas to mess around with, but you can actually play a kind of a treasure radar second screen on your Vita with Sly Cooper on the PS3, so that if you're really lazy and you don't want to find out where all the treasures are, you can just use the Vita instead. And it's a nice little cheat for the completionists.
That's awesome. I might have to take use of that and help me hunt that platinum down.
Hopefully this will help the Vita, because right now it's a great system. It's got a lot of potential. It's got that beautiful screen.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very powerful compared to the 3DS and some of the other systems.
Too powerful.
But people have not been buying it because there weren't a lot of games. However, if you have the ability to stream, games off the PS4 onto the Vita, that surprisingly actually adds quite a bit of value.
Oh yeah.
It's like especially if somebody actually wants to watch something on the TV, but you want to keep playing your game on your PS4, then you can just stream that in.
Exactly.
And it's like nobody is put out. It's like everybody still gets to do what it is that they want to do.
Yep. So it really brings the family together.
Yeah. So hopefully we will see that there is more stuff that's going to be happening with Vita once the PS4 comes in. And I just failed because I was busy talking instead of playing.
I didn't know stealth was that important. And
it is a stealth game.
Yeah.
So, now we're counting down to it's like.
Yeah, we're going to
check
check
out the big PlayStation reveal. So yeah, you guys will just stop paying attention to this and start paying attention to what's happening with the debut of the PS4.
Check out all the rest of our stuff on our site online, CG Mag online.